Hi everyone, I'm Jane from Association of Carers, and I'm here with a couple of people that we support, Brian and Sylv, and they're going to talk tell me a little bit about their experience of using internet technologies, maybe learning some new things in lockdown and whether those things have been useful. Hello both, thanks for joining me.
Hello.
Hello, Jane.
How are you doing?
Yeah, we're not too bad, are we?
Yeah, no, we're fine.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining me. So yeah, as I just said, this is a bit of a conversation about, you know, possibly mainly about Zoom, but maybe you've used other things in lockdown. So, I mean, the first question, I guess, is, did you use the internet very much before lockdown?
Well, I use it. Sylv is not.
I don't know anything about computers.
Okay.
And I use internet quite a bit for looking at things, looking up things.
Club work, don't you?
Yeah, for various clubs, etc.
Yeah.
So I'm literate as far as that's concerned. But as to the technology of Zoom and all the others, no, I'm a bit back in the Stone Age.
Okay, no, that's fine. But you've really gotten to grips with Zoom so, you know, let's talk about Zoom as an example. So that wasn't something that you had used before.
Yeah. Well, we have, if you don't mind me speaking at the moment, Sylv usually does most of the speaking.
Only because your voice is gone.
Because my voice goes, because of the trouble I've got with it. Excuse me. Yeah, we have used Zoom mainly in the carers, but we've also used it on medical with the hospital. Now Sylv is attending for Parkinson's, and we have a chat with the Parkinson nurse, or Sylv does, there. And the beauty of Zoom, as far as we're concerned, as far as using it for that and for the carers, is that, as with the Carers Association and with the hospitals and the doctors, is when they give you time to Zoom in or to use Zoom, you get an email to say when to Zoom or when to log in, or when you log in, it comes up and it's very clear on waiting and how long you will wait until the host, i.e. your doctor or the association you are in touch with, lets you in. So it is only, you know, at that stage, there's no real technology or to be frightened about. You just click onto it.
Yeah.
As for using it to begin with, to log in, with the Zoom company, I did find a bit of trouble with that. It was a bit complicated in the sense that the information you had to give sometimes was a bit, I don't know, it wasn't quite clear.
Right, and maybe you weren't sure why they needed some of those information.
Yeah.
But once it was
explained, and it is quite good.
Yeah.
And as far as we're concerned, as many as our friends are concerned now, it is a good lifeline as well.
Yeah.
Especially for those people who are on their own. They got somebody to relate to, they got somebody to speak to.
Yeah.
And it's better than a telephone call for the doctors, as far as we're concerned, because it is similar to having face-to-face. I think.
But you know who you're talking to, whereas if it's a phone, it could be anybody. Yeah. Really.
I think there's a lot to be said for being able to see someone's face. I think that's a really important thing.
Yes.
You know, the kind of connection of actually being able to kind of.
And your expressions and that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because before all this happens, it was gearing that way anyway, wasn't it? That you saw actually saw your doctor.
Yeah, absolutely. So So you said, you know, you Brian, you kind of talked about, you know, a few kind of techie issues with logging in, but for the most part, when, like, for example, when I'm sending you a link to Bingo, that part you say it's quite easy to engage with, quite straightforward. You just click the link and you go into the Zoom meeting.
Yeah. The only thing on that, you've got to remember that when you come up, there's a little arrow that says click onto video.
Yeah.
If you don't do that, you're not being heard and you're not being seen. We have been called out right at the very beginning on that, so you have to it's just one of those little quirks, I suppose, with this type of.
It's experience, isn't it? You know, you're learning a new thing. So once you know what you need to do, the next time you do it, then you're fine.
Yeah, I mean, we look forward, quite honestly, to the Bingo and quizzes.
Do you think that you would carry on doing online Zoom or similar activities? Would you be happy to carry on doing online Bingo, online quizzes, online appointments after lockdown has finished? You know, is it something that you found useful and you think that you might continue with?
I think so, because the need arises. As far as we're concerned, we're disabled.
Yeah.
We find getting out and about very hard. We need mobility items to help us.
Yeah.
You know, chairs and all the rest of it. So as far as we are concerned, yes, when the need arises, Zoom is there to be used, as long as it's used, you know, in its proper way.
Yeah. And so would you recommend it as a useful way of keeping in touch to, you know, perhaps to other carers?
I think it's an excellent tool. I know there's the emails and that, but it's still like sending a letter. Although it's personal, you are away from the person you're actually speaking to. But with Zoom, don't matter whether it's a doctor or doesn't matter who it is, it's a personal contact. And I think you find that, don't
yes,
you?
Yeah.
And because Sylv likes to have a chat, so it's a good item. The only thing is that not enough people know about Zoom and what it. I mean, since you introduced Zoom to us, or the carers rather, introduced it to us, we belong to a few other social clubs and job clubs, and we've informed them about it, and they're looking into it in a way of communication, especially if you've got to hold a committee meeting. If there's only a few of you on it, you can hold it by Zoom.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, that's exactly what this, you know, this is what this kind of chat is to highlight, the fact that it's kind of, you know, I don't know whether it's, I said this to, I spoke to Lynn earlier as well, and I asked her, you know, do you kind of feel a little bit like it's a case of, if I can do it, you can do it? So this is what this kind of chat is about, getting other carers to say, look, we were able to do it, so you can do it as well.
In a way, any technology, if you don't know anything about it, it's a bit off-putting. But the simplicity of it, once you can get over that, then yes, I mean, we're 100% for it. So you're speaking in one way to the converted.
Yeah, well, no, exactly. But your perspective will be really helpful in terms of us. Sorry, say that again.
Yeah, before this, we wouldn't have even thought about it, would we?
No, I still don't understand it.
No, Sylv doesn't understand.
It's
but once we're on it, once I've switched into it, yes, it's a very good medium.
Brilliant.
Yeah, you know, I think there is a cost to it, isn't there? I don't know what the cost is.
There's only a cost if you want to. So you can buy, like, you know, for a business or an organization, you can pay, which just means you can have unlimited length meetings. But for ordinary people, you can have it for free. It just means you can't have a meeting that's longer than 40 minutes, I think. So it's free for basic stuff. If you want to do kind of more complicated stuff, you can pay.
Yeah, as long as people realise, you know, that I saw it when we first went on. You can have I think it was 30 minutes to, then where you could have 30 minutes conversation. Then you would have to start.
That's a fair time, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, it is a fair time. Yeah.
And also, you know, shush, Zoom isn't, but you can just stop the meeting and then start a new one. So if you had 30 minutes of chat with someone and wanted to carry on, you can just start a new meeting anyway. So there's ways around it. So yeah, but for the very basic functions, it's free. So I think it's really kind of accessible for a lot of people. Yeah, no, it's great to hear that you found it useful though. But so you would recommend it to other people, basically?
Oh, definitely.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, give it a try. It's not for everybody. Once they've tried it, you know, it's like anything else, isn't it? The first meeting, the first time you do it, you feel a bit strange because most of us are not used to being on camera. And so it does take a little bit of time. After that, in actual fact, you quite look forward to being able to switch it on, being able to speak to somebody. Yeah.
I agree. I mean, I've really enjoyed doing kind of the online activities with you guys. You know, and you coming along is what makes them fun. So it's really great. It's really great. I'm really grateful that you have been willing to give it a try and that you found it useful. So, and we will carry on doing online activities after lockdown, because I think especially
with a group.
Yeah.
I know it's a good for one-to-one. I mean, Sylv's been on the telephone to her friends nearly all morning. I think if it had been by Zoom, it would have gone into the afternoon as well. But this is the point.
He does exaggerate.
This is the point with it, is because you're actually speaking to somebody you know, or a friend, or an acquaintance, or whatever, you tend to be able to speak that bit more freely, because you can see, as Sylv said, you can see the expressions, etc. And you know when somebody's getting bored with your voice, so you can switch off. And no, but apart from that, regarding a group, I think it's very nice, even if you. The other day, for example, I could hardly talk. So it was nice listening to the other members of the group, chatting, giving their views and interacting with each other.
Yeah.
So this is where I think the benefits of Zoom, especially with group meetings, is quite valuable.
Yeah.
On that part of it.
Yeah, no, I agree. And actually, it's something that I've been thinking about, the fact that, and I don't even know if you know that it's there or whether you can see it, but in Zoom, there is a manual, like keyboard chat function as well. So, and I sometimes think, because obviously when you have a group Zoom, it can get a bit unwieldy, you know, it's sometimes difficult to have that back and forth because, you know, unless somebody's really rigidly policing the conversation and saying, right, it's your turn to talk now, it's your turn to talk now, it's your turn to talk now, then sometimes people talk over each other. But I might, in fact, to the next session, I might talk about the chat. I'm going to type something and see if you see it. Where do I? Hello. See if you get a pop-up, because sometimes so for you, Brian, if you're feeling that if your voice isn't working so well, then you can type. There's a chat box, so you could actually type in there, and so even if you're not able to have an actual verbal conversation, you can just be in there saying, "Hi guys, sorry." So can you see that? Did a message pop up or anything?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you then just use your keyboard.
Yeah. So you just use your keyboard to then write something back. So I've been to some meetings where there's, you know, like 50 people there. So obviously 50 trying to have a conversation is impossible. So everyone just does their talking in the box. So someone will be giving maybe a speech and everyone else will be kind of responding to it in the dialogue box. So that can be really useful. So maybe at the next one I'll introduce that in terms of another way of carrying on a conversation. So
that would be nice for you, because your voice goes and your hearing goes. It's both, because I have to sit with him because he can't hear what's being said.
Yeah.
No. Okay. Well, yeah, mate. I'll do a little intro to the chat box at the next bingo session. Okay. Well, I mean, that was really brilliant. Thank you for agreeing to talk to me. Your perspective will be really useful to other people who are maybe Zoom phobic or, you know, unsure about Zoom. I think hearing a perspective of somebody who maybe felt similarly uncertain but is now really confident in using it will be really, really helpful. So thank you so much for talking to me. And I look forward to our next Zoom session.
Thank you.
Well, thank you too. Yeah. Look forward to seeing you. Yeah. Bye-bye.